managed to get out today, and good time actually. We did not sleep in. We were up before 8, believe it or not. We did have McDonald's for breakfast again. So shameful of us.
I want an apple pie with that. I want an apple pie with that.
But at least we got out and going early, and we are heading to the Imperial Palace area, the old site of Edo Castle, and some of the stuff that I had shown you yesterday at the Edo Tokyo Museum. Behind us is Tokyo Station down there, and we're making our way to the grounds of the Imperial Palace. And the old Edo Tokyo palaces and castle are up here as well, and they have a garden in that area, because there's not much left. There's not much left of the old stuff. This is the main street that comes out of Tokyo Station and into the palace grounds. And this looks like they're setting up for an illumination. We're just gonna miss it, it looks like. But it's getting kind of windy, so I'll put this down for now. Behind me here is a entrance into the Imperial Palace. I don't think it's the entrance, but it's a entrance. And if you have tickets for a guided tour, that is where you would go to get to go in and see inside the palace a little bit. You need to book that in advance usually. You can try your luck and see if you can get same-day tickets, but I think there's like a very limited number of tickets, very specific times for the tours. We've never actually done it. It'll probably be pretty interesting. But the area here is really it makes for a really nice walk. So that was the entrance there. And we walked from over there, those buildings where the train station is, along here, along this moat. And along the moat is this big stone wall. The moat goes all the way around. And there's another entrance over there, it looks like. The stone wall is really quite majestic looking, especially with the trees hanging, like the trees hanging over the edge there like that. It's really cool. That's the second helicopter we've seen come fly in and land on that specific building since we've been here within 10-minute time. And it just the first one just came in, landed, and left immediately. And that one just landed and hasn't left yet. But there's a lot of activity around here. It looks like they're setting up for something, and it's probably the Emperor's birthday, which is on December 23rd. I'm not sure if it's a special like anniversary year, birthday or anything, but we theorized when we were back in Meiji Shrine, if you remember, that they were doing a bunch of preparation there as well, and we figured that it was for the same event. It's a big event here in Japan, Emperor's birthday. Behind me here is the bridge we've been walking towards, this Nijubashi. It is a double bridge somehow. I don't quite get it, because from this angle you can't see the doubleness of the bridge. It looks like a single bridge, but apparently if you're looking at it dead on, you can see two separate bridges. One is called the Stone Bridge and one is called the Iron Bridge. But from here it's just a very picturesque bridge over the moat into the Imperial Palace grounds, and you can see buildings just over the bridge, part of the palace complex. This is apparently the most famous bridge in Japan. So Nijubashi is right there, and then there's this entrance here, which Nicole thinks is the main entrance. It's the grandest looking entrance we've seen.
Guard.
Yeah, there's two guards, and the barricades are pretty intense.
picturesque spot, I might add.
Yes, in the presence of the palace.
Yeah. So royal inagiri. Royal inagiri.
It's very windy and quite cold today because of the wind, I guess. Get into it. Double packaged. So this one doesn't have the fancy wrapping like the ones you get in the convenience stores, because this was fresh, and so it was in her case unwrapped, and she just wrapped it when I ordered it. So this is, like I said, walking over here, it is ume, which is a preserved plum, which is a bit of, yeah, it's a bit of an acquired taste. Nicole does not like it.
Because it's yucky.
So I'm gonna get the first bite in with some plum right away.
Really? I say that because you're on camera.
I love the sourness of the plum. It goes really well with the rice. You can't see anything yet. It's good. Sorry, Family Mart. I think this is better.
Is it double the price of Family Mart? Oh. Let's look for the plum now. Oh yeah, I'm familiar with that monstrosity.
No, this was 170 yen.
Oh.
And the Family Mart ones are 120. Usually. They vary.
Top of your head is getting cut off.
That's good because my hair looks ridiculous right now. The wind is being problematic. All right, let's find the gardens. Nicole and I were just commenting on how beautiful the trees are here. So there's a big field here separating the main street from this gravel area, which kind of feels like a parking lot, but it's probably not. Really interestingly different. Like, I really like this one. I'm not sure how well these are going to show up. And then over here, also there's a whole slew of these trees. So apparently this area is really popular with joggers. I haven't seen a lot of joggers. Did you? You saw a bunch of joggers? Because you can jog all the way around the grounds, and it's very picturesque.
We saw a bunch of them. They were wearing those black legging things with a pink stripe and then shorts on top.
Oh my. So yeah, it would be a very nice place to come jog and get your exercise in, steeped in all this history around you. Gardens of the Imperial Palace. It's just a bit of a walk from the bridge, and you start your tour here at Otemon Gate, which you can see behind me, and it's a really nice entranceway to the palace grounds. And they have a dolphin that they have recovered. It's a ornamental dolphin that they have on the corners of the roof of the gate, and this dolphin was damaged during World War II, I guess, during the bombings. But they kept it, and it's restored here as a reminder of those days, I guess. And they have new dolphins on the roof. So we're gonna go in there and get a map and make our way around the garden. The mix of metal and wood is neat. It gives it a really neat look. The big doors. Look at the hinges. We are in the garden grounds now. Admission is free. You don't have to pay to come in here. It's really spectacular. All the stone walls and the old buildings and whatnot. But this garden grounds was sort of built and put together in the 60s. It opened up in 68, and it's all on the old Edo Castle grounds, and we can actually get to the remains of the tower, the old Edo Castle Tower, which we saw yesterday at the Edo Tokyo Museum in one of the models. The walls are so impressive, and it's neat how there's trees on the top of them. Like there's ground up there. It's like retaining walls almost. And here's an old, I think this is an old guardhouse.
I can give you information.
This is an old guardhouse.
This used to be the old guardhouse. Back in the day, there'd be 100 samurai and special retainers that were chosen to guard this house 24 hours a day, day and night, every day. And the 100 retainers were chosen from the 4 branches of the 4 branches of the somethingness.
The government, or?
Yeah. There are 4 clans, and they chose. Basically there was 4 clans, and they chose like 100 of the best
from all the clans.
Yeah, and then they would go through all the visitors. They would inspect all the visitors and their belongings when they come in.
Here's the map. It's quite vast. We are currently at number 5, and that building Nicole just spoke about is that long building there beside number 5. And so we are going to make this loop all the way around up to 20. 20 is the tower remains, and come all the way back down and head out. You can see all the moats, and I'm not sure if any of these moats are the interior moats or if these are all exterior moats, but we're gonna make the loop, so let's get moving, Nicole. What's this?
It's called the Bansho, and Bansho means guardhouse, and this is one of the last 3 remaining ones, and this one's the most important because this one is the final one that you come to when you come to the castle. So once you've made it for the first 2, this is the last one, and only the highest ranking samurai guardsmen work here to check you out.
So you have to make it past the 100
yes.
guards,
yes.
And then you
That's
come here.
No, you make it first past the 100 guardsman house, then you go through another band show, and then this is the final one. So once you pass the first 2, you get to here.
And this is where they probably would have stopped you from going in.
Me?
Yeah.
But I'm not riff-raff.
At one point there would have been a bridge here over this walkway. Maybe this wasn't a walkway back then. Like this pillar here would have been connected to this pillar here by a bridge. So this area behind me is a classical orchard. Is that what they are calling it? A classical species orchard. So there's a bunch of different trees here. Some of them are being sheltered for the winter, and each one has a sign explaining what kind of species it is. And I'm kind of tempted to pick one because I'm a little bit hungry. It looks like there might be some oranges in there. Yes?
You want your rule breaker to do it?
No. I'm sure the cop that just rode his bike by wouldn't be too impressed with you.
Oh yeah, I shouldn't push my luck after I made it past the final checkpoint.
Yes.
The building behind me used to be used for both storage and defense. In the Edo period, there used to be 19 of them around, but now today there's only 3 left. Back in the good old days, the shogun used to come and view both fireworks and Mount Fuji from the viewing platform.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, very pretty.
It's astounding. The building that Nicole was talking about is called Fujimi Yagura, and Fujimi means Mount Fuji, and Yagura means viewing. So Fujimi Yagura means Mount Fuji viewing. And as Nicole mentioned, it was an important point for defense, and of course the windows were all used for firing guns and arrows, but there were also little hidden spots where they could open up and fire down, and those were over the windows that sort of jet out a little bit. You could open up the floor panel and shoot straight down if people were coming to attack, but Edo Castle was never attacked, so this tower actually didn't see any action. It's also Edo Castle's last 3-story building. Many people have probably heard of the story, the legend of the 47 loyal Ronin, the 47 Ronin. Last time we were here in, I think 2012 when we came, we went to where they actually are buried. Their graves are still here in Tokyo, and you can go visit them. And this spot where we're standing right here marks the place where the corridor was where their master was attacked and wounded. And that started off the events that led to that tale, the 47 Ronin plotting revenge for their master. It was the second longest corridor with tatami mats in Edo Castle, and I guess this stone marks the spot. Right now it's just sort of garden. There's a building here that's been newly opened, and it is a defense house. And it's a structure on the stone wall where they would keep guns and bows and arrows and whatnot, and they'd be able to guard part of the citadel, like the inside part of the castle, I guess. And you can see out the windows, you can go in it now and see out the windows a really great view down onto any attacking enemies. There are parts in the grounds here where you wouldn't even know you're in Tokyo. You can't really hear the city noise. You hear the odd siren, and there's still helicopters coming in, going to that building and leaving, but other than that, you can't really hear the city. It's really peaceful in here. And at places, you can't even see the city. From where we are, you can see the city looming over the grounds here. It's a really peaceful place to come for a walk, and also to see some really neat things, some neat buildings and gardens and whatnot, and the remains of the tower, which are really just remains, but it's really cool to stand there and see it and look out from that spot. Along the path here, there's an old stone cellar, and rumor had it that it used to be a secret passageway, or that there was a treasury here or something, but it's more likely that it was just used to store supplies for the inner part of the palace. You can see it here. And I'm not sure if it had a roof or not, but there are roof tiles sort of on the mound on top of the cellar. So I'm not sure if they just placed that there for effect, or if they're actually trying to show that there was a roof here on the stone cellar. We're almost at the tower remains, which I'm really looking forward to seeing again. But along the way here is a bamboo grove, which I don't remember seeing. It was planted here by request by the previous emperor, Emperor Showa. He was given these bamboos as a present, I guess, to commemorate his 77th birthday. And they were originally planted in the private gardens on the palace, but he had the idea of transplanting them here so that I guess the general public would be able to see them. There's 13 different varieties here, all indigenous to Japan and China. It's kind of neat because they're all grouped and clustered together, so you can clearly see the different types of bamboo in the little grove here. And I think these big ones are my favorite. Alright, we made it to the remains of the tower. It's behind us here. You can see Nicole there playing Pokemon. But the remains are there, and they are just the stone foundation, really, of the tower. I guess the rest of the tower would have been wood and quite high, I guess, because the foundation itself is quite imposing. So you can go up the foundation. So we're going to climb up the foundation now and see what the view is like from up there. Kind of imagine what it would have been like back in the day, based on seeing the models at the Edo Tokyo Museum yesterday. Basically, where we're standing and all these fields in front of us look like they would have been buildings and homes, and I don't know what else they would have had, but just like all this expanse would have been buildings back in the day. That tree up there is kind of neat. It looks like there's 3 levels to the foundation, and the tree is on the 2nd level. So I got some factoids for you about this tower here. This was the largest tower ever built in all of Japan, or the tallest tower ever built in all of Japan. It was 5 stories from the outside, but it was actually 6 stories inside. And they often did that in donjons. They had a hidden floor, and they would do that so that when an attacker came in, the defenders would be able to hide soldiers on that floor, and the attackers would get confused thinking there was only 5, but there's actually 6 levels, and it was a defense mechanism really. So this tower was started being built by the 2nd shogunate, and it was finished by the 3rd shogunate's reign, and it was completely destroyed in the fire of 1657, which wiped out most of this area, most of the old Edo town here, and it was never reconstructed. So it only lasted 19 years after it took them so long to build, which is unfortunate, and I guess the remains have been like this ever since. I always get excited and really enjoy coming to see these things, any sort of castle or tower or whatnot. It's always very fascinating to me, and there's not much here to see really. It's just sort of like a flat space where you can come and see the foundations of the tower, but I like to sit and imagine what it must have been like to come here and see this 5-storied tower just sitting here. It would have been super imposing, and the view from the top must have been amazing. Hence they built it here, because this looks like a high ground, and you would have had a really good view over all the land around for protection. And it was actually, Edo Castle was actually quite close to the ocean, but they filled it in, they filled in a lot of the bay and built a lot of the skyscrapers over on reclaimed land, and so it's actually a bit farther now than it used to be back then. We're at a point now here on the walk which is called Shiomi Zaka Slope, and it's sort of coming out of the inner citadel into the 2nd citadel, and you can see here the part of the inner moat protecting this huge wall here. And we came down this pathway in between the walls here, and it continues down. And they're saying there used to be a gate up here which you'd have to pass through to get into the inner part of the palace, and that you'd be able to see the sea from here, and they would use this. The name of this slope, Shiomi Zaka Slope, actually means tide view slope. So they'd be able to see the ocean, I guess, from here and determine if it was high tide or low tide. Garden complex here. We're skipping a big section of it because we're running out of time, and we had a really good walk. We've been in here a good hour and a half. Probably could use 2.5 hours to sort of see the whole thing at not a very fast pace if you want to take your time and just sort of see what's what. It's been really enjoyable because they have a really good map, which I showed you earlier. Each spot is labeled on the map what it is, and then most spots have another plaque that you can read, and they give you more detail, which is where I've gotten most of my factoids for this video. So yeah, it's a really good, approachable visit, and you'll learn quite a bit. And it's also a really good mix between sort of like garden stuff, which Nicole enjoys seeing, and more like building stuff, which I enjoy seeing. So it's satisfying both of us in one visit. Did you have a fun time?
I had a lovely day. It was a really good morning.
The day's not over yet.
I know, but the sky is so blue and makes me so happy to see it out here like this. I'm weird.
You're weird.
The sky made me do it.
The sky
made me say it.
So we are heading out now for lunch. We're going to go for tonkatsu since we failed yesterday, and now I've got tonkatsu on the brain. And we have a spot already picked out because we've been there before. we will probably catch up with you there. After our amazing walk through the Imperial Palace gardens this morning, we decided to come in and get something to eat. I think I mentioned earlier that we were coming in for tonkatsu. We were going to come to the same restaurant we ate at, I think, the first day when we came to Tokyo Station to activate our JR Rail passes. But Nicole's really been wanting tempura, and for some reason we really haven't had tempura yet. And they had a really good looking restaurant right beside the tonkatsu place, so that's where we are right now. And just waiting for our food very patiently. I'm very hungry. I ordered a sake instead of a beer today, and it's nice and warming on the inside. It's really quite chilly outside. I'm really glad I wore my goose today. Nicole bugs me every day to wear my goose, and I always like, no, I'll be fine, and then I always regret it by the end of the day. But it's been really windy and chilly today, so I'm happy to be inside sitting, and I'm going to be really happy when my food comes that I'm eating it.
How the heck did you get an appetizer with your meal?
I don't know.
She just brought it out.
Well, I ordered off the regular menu, and you ordered off the lunch special.
Ah.
And mine was 50 yen cheaper.
Wow.
So I'm not sure what this is, but she said mix it up and eat it with the sake. So I'm gonna mix this up. It's fish.
Wow.
It's like sashimi of some sort. It's like tuna.
Oh my god. Are you in the mood to share?
No.
Oh. Oh.
Especially after you mocked me for not ordering the lunch special.
Do you think that they got our orders mixed up and that's actually my sashimi?
I don't think so.
Me neither.
So here's what it looks like mixed up. It's like a miso, a very tangy miso sauce that's on there. Really,
She said to have it with your sake.
yeah. The miso sauce is really good.
Really?
The fish is buttery.
Me too.
It just falls apart in the mouth. Yeah, the misos are very good combination with the fish. Here comes more.
This is OIB, please. Japanese miso soup. Miso soup. That's okay.
Thank you.
So yes, that is very good.
Now I'm going to pass the camera to you since our food has arrived and I am going to be...
All.
Thank you. Yes, so our main dishes have come, and the difference now is obvious. Lunch special has 2 rather large shrimp and some vegetables, and the sauce has already been poured over. I can smell it. It smells a lot more soy based than what we've had in, were we in Osaka?
Sapporo.
Sendai.
Sendai.
Yeah, Sendai. And then mine here has smaller shrimp, but there is a piece of whitefish here along with, this is the whitefish, along with the vegetables. So you're gonna give yours a try? It smells really good.
Well, the sauce is really good. The batter is still crispy even though there's sauce on it. So happy we came. Now share your fish with me.
Here, I'll try the whitefish. It's really hot. That is not fish.
That is going to say that is clearly eggplant.
That is
Crazy.
eggplant. I think this is the fish. I see the fin here.
I thought that it was eggplant, but I was so hungry that I just wanted you to pop in your mouth so I could put the camera down.
Yeah, it's good. The batter is not as crispy as the place in Sendai with the sauce on it. but there are like crispy bits, crispy chunks in there. Yeah, it's good. All right, let's put the camera down and finish this off.
Yay. He does love me. That is awesome. I can't believe they gave you this with your meal. The fish is really buttery and the sauce is... I want more of that sauce. I should buy the sauce and take it home.
Wonder what it is.
It's really good. We finished lunch and I'm super full and satisfied and happy. Michael, on the other hand, is not super full.
Yeah, lunch was really good, but I am a little bit hungry. I could have eaten more than that, but
You even got an extra piece of pumpkin because I discarded it.
that is true. But we'll find a family mart along the way, and I'll top myself up. Not a problem. And this afternoon we have a bunch of our shopping errands to do that I mentioned yesterday. I'm not quite sure what we're going to film or how that's going to go for the rest of the day, but I'm sure you'll see us again today at some point. We've come into a little shopping center, shopping mall, I guess, and looks like they're getting ready to unveil their Christmas tree, which is massive. It looks like it's 3 stories. I'm on the 2nd floor, and they're still up that much. But I'm guessing the tip of that is at some level up with the 3rd floor. That's a big tree, and it looks like they've, I don't know, they painted it all white. I'm assuming it's a real tree that they've caked with stuff to look like snow. It looks really nice. And they've hung these glittering string thingies with little pieces of reflective material that's glittering and it looks like snow is falling. It's a really good display. There's a bunch of people set up shop over on the other side of the tree as if it looks like they're just waiting for something to happen, like there's a presentation going to happen. There's a little stage over there, so maybe this is their sort of unveiling of the tree. I don't know what's going on, but if we catch something interesting, we'll throw the camera back on. All right, we're down at the base of the tree, and yes, there's some instrument stuff happening. They're setting up and warming up, and Nicole's checking one more story, and then we're out of here. It better be good, that's all I have to say, or this crowd is going to go crazy and rip them apart.
Unlike the toilets back home, which are basically just a seat and a flusher, the toilets in Japan are quite advanced. As you can see here, they have a lot of bells and whistles that we're just not used to back in North America. Here you'll see the little washlets stick out, and that looks super intimidating. But don't fear the Japanese toilet. I think you just have to embrace it and enjoy all the wonderful features that it has to offer.
So I guess we've been missing in action for a little while. Since you last saw us, where did you last see us?
Palace Gardens.
We were at the other
Tempura.
We were past Tempura, and we were at the other mall with the white Christmas tree. And as we were leaving, yeah, they started singing on that stage, and I don't know if anything else happened after that. We left, and then we went to run some of our errands. We went to a few department stores. We had to pick up a few things. We went to Uniqlo, got another haul of Uniqlo stuff, and now we're here at a restaurant at the top of one of the department stores that we ran some errands in. And after this, we still got some more errands to run. So we are at, did I mention we're at a tonkatsu restaurant? We're at a tonkatsu restaurant at the top of the department store. So we are put our order in and we're just waiting for it to show up. So part of our meal came, this is something we haven't had yet with a tonkatsu meal, and that is a bowl with sesame seeds in it that you grind up to make your sauce. Here is our bowl. Well, we each have a bowl, and they give you a stick. Yeah? And then you just grind up the sesames. smells amazing.
Me too, me too. Oh my.
Yeah, it's got a really good roast sesame smell coming out of that bowl now.
Let's make it into ice cream somehow.
And then I think we're supposed to put the sauce into the bowl. So they gave us a thing of sauce.
That is non-spicy.
Non-spicy tonkatsu sauce. And I guess we'll put that in there. And then you just mix up your sauce. I guess you could use the stick, but I'm not, maybe I will. But you just kind of like mix it up. And there, the sauce is ready. And also what comes with this meal is cabbage. Always comes with shredded cabbage. And that's all mine because Nicole doesn't eat it. And a dressing. And this is a creamy dressing, I believe. You can also add in there. It's a thin mayo of some sort. And then you just mix that up and you can eat that. And then there's also this container that came, which I am not sure what this is. I think it's some kind of pickle. It's definitely pickled. I'm not sure what it is though. And they give you separate chopsticks for that. So this looks like a pretty legit tonkatsu meal. I'm really excited to see the pork. The main event just showed up. I got a pork cutlet. It looks really, really good. It comes with rice and a miso soup and a little dish of pickles, which is all pretty customary. So I'm gonna try the pork here. Got a piece of pork into my made up tonkatsu sauce. The roasted sesame really comes through in the sauce. It's really, really good. I'm glad we found a place that does that. The other places we've done haven't done that for some reason, but that was pretty common last time we were in Japan. And the pork is really, really juicy. The piece that is exposed shows a little bit of pink in the middle, so it's cooked really perfectly. It's really, really good. And your meal looks really, really good as well. Look at how they flared out the tail.
Yeah, I always can't resist ordering a meal if shrimp is an option. 'Cause I love shrimp. It's delicious. The shrimp is big. It's juicy. The coating is light. It's crunchy and it's not oily. Really good.
Let's devour this. Dinner was really good, but we're both super stuffed and we're starting to crash. So we are going to race home and get to bed. We're going to have a pretty long day again tomorrow.
Tell everybody what time it is, just in case people think it's in the middle of the night right now.
It's 9:30. But we did get up early today. I went to bed late last night. So I'm going to say that we're entitled to be a little bit tired.
Oh, I don't think we're past a little bit tired. I feel like a zombie.
Yeah, me too. Really tired.
We should share our amazing view
Yeah, true.
with everybody.
We got really lucky because when we looked in, we didn't see these seats by the window. We didn't even realize there was a window in here, and it looked full. And then when we asked for a table of two, they took us to this table around the corner, and it has a really nice view. Here, I'll show you. Let's see, we're up on the 12th floor, looking down on Ginza. There's the cool Sony store, and below the Sony store, I believe, is the, I think that's the Nissan store. Yeah.
It's not a Nissan store, it's a Nissan concept.
Yeah, it's like a Nissan Concepts showroom or something. But we're gonna pay and finish up here and head out. We'll be walking right down there, back home.
We're almost back to the hotel. It's a pretty cool looking building. It's kind of like a triangular shape with rounded corners, and the hotel is in the top floors. I'm not sure how many top. The lobby's on the 25th floor, and I think they have rooms up to the 34th or 36th floor, and then the bottom of the building is offices. But yeah, I think we owe you an explanation on karaoke, because we went there, we gave you a bit of an intro, and then we did it, and then you didn't see much of us again regarding karaoke. But yeah, karaoke here, I don't know how to explain how fun it is, because it's just super fun. It's not something we do at home ever. I guess we play Rock Band the odd time, but we don't ever go for karaoke. And I've always thought that karaoke was about going to a bar and singing in front of a big crowd, but that's not what it is here at all. Here you go and you can rent out a room, and like Nicole and I had our own little room. Just a small room with a TV and an iPad sized panel. It was basically like an iPad that you can look up your songs and get them queued up, and they come up on the TV, and there's a sound system in there, and it's just super fun. We went for an hour and a half. That was our original time we told the guy when we booked the room, and we did the hour and a half, and we did more. We added an extra hour, so we were there for 2.5 hours, and we were singing our hearts out the whole time. It was a lot of fun. If you have any inclination in that kind of stuff, if you like Rock Band, or you just like singing along to music in your car, or whatever the case, definitely try karaoke here. And if you're going with a small group like we do, just the two of us that we're comfortable with each other, it's like you just get into it. So yeah, good time. So yeah, that's sort of the little update on karaoke. We went to a place called Big Echo, and they're everywhere. We've seen them everywhere in Japan. It was funny actually, when we were leaving, there was 3 old dudes and a young couple, and they were leaving together, and kind of got the sense that maybe the old dudes went into their own room and the young couple was in their own room, and one of the old dudes paid for the young couple. But yeah, everybody karaoke's here, it seems like. So we were at the hotel, and we're about to jump in the elevator.